Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the lab. Oh boy, my apologies for the very late stream start. I am an old man. All right, Gilly. He is currently obsessed. Well, oh no, hold on. Oh no, this might be going haywire. Haha. Let's find out. No. It doesn't look terrible. I'm starting to notice that the stream is kind of lagging a little bit. Or at least it's lagging over here. Let's see here. Double check. That looks okay. Okay. We'll see what happens. So, welcome everybody. Welcome to the lab where we are currently working on a Twitch bot in Go. With a minor problem at the moment. Apparently, no key that I'm using, no OAuth token that I'm using is actually connecting to IRC. So, you know, stream start issues. I feel like this has been a theme since I came back with the bot. Like, yes, this will be fine. I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna get back into it. I'm gonna get back to streaming. And then Twitch says no. Oh, and now it's doing the thing again. Hang on. There we go. All right. I had to that side. I had to turn down the this, like, you can kind of sort of see it at the top right. It's just a tiny little icon. That comes from VLC apparently. And yeah. I don't understand why it's there. Anyway. Let me do a quick sound check. Alright then. Sweet. Alright. So, where last we left off, the D&D session, hello? Where we last left off, we were working on integrating Bolt into the app. And so this was in replacement of there we go. Let me switch over to here. This was in replacement of the custom cache that we had been working on. So if I go to cache, so previously we had this this persistible cache abstraction, and all it really is, all things considered, is it's just a map with a file attached to it. So the idea was, well, let's replace this. And let's go through puberty apparently. Let's replace this, and let's replace it with something that, you know, actually has support and might actually be useful. And so we landed on Bolt DB. Hey, really, Frank? Thanks so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab. How you doing, mate? Oh, sometimes I feel like such a robot. On my way out the door, we'll watch the VOD later. No worries, mate. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it, and hope you have a good one. And also, thank you again for the recommendation for Bolt. So, where I was going back and forth on last time was I was trying to figure out if I wanted to keep this persistible cache concept, if I wanted to just keep that at all, or if I wanted to just go ham effectively and just build a Bolt cache. Or what I probably could do is I could just call this a cache. Well, we already technically call it a cache with the interface type. But I was going back and forth on whether or not I wanted both this persistible cache as well as this this Bolt DB. Ooh, companion tool I use all the time. Bolt browser. Yo. Hell yeah. Much appreciated, mate. Oh, it's like a... Yeah. All right. We're going to tuck this over here for a little bit. Because I'm going to come back to that. So where I think I landed was that I will continue down the path of having a separate bolt cache. Oh, of course, this pops up right as I start to stream. Haha. Let's see here. All right. So, where did we actually leave off? We got our new bolt cache is attempting to open a file. How y'all doing? Anybody remember that I'm Southern? Sounds so weird. We got our cache. We did want to do something about buckets, if I remember correctly. Hey! How's it going, mate? Thank you so much for stopping by. We're just gonna do... Oh. Well, thank you, mate. I appreciate it. So good to see you. How you been, man? I'm so sad because I can't get the bot to actually start. So I can't do the shout out thing that I normally do. Bring this over here. We're gonna debug it live. Oh, nope. Nope. Can't do that. Can't debug it live because that's where the stream key is. We are not about to leak secrets out on stream. But if you guys have not seen him, go and check out Guitar Zero. Guitar is such a cool dude. He is one of the coolest people that I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. He's such a good, wholesome individual, and the streams are glorious. So I wish that I actually had a proper shout out here. I think I can do that. We're gonna go old school. We're gonna go real old school. Yeah. Allegedly, assuming that I didn't absolutely wreck that. I didn't. Aha. So, go and give him a look. He is a fantastic person, and y'all will have a good time. Of this, the lab guarantees. All right. What was that laugh? That moment when you just go all nuts. Join the capitalist workforce. You know, can't get away from the capitalist workforce. You'll never be able to do it. Ever. Oh man. I'm complete and utter divergence, but I'm noticing that ever since I swapped to Linux, the OBS version in Linux is just like a carbon copy. Like the preview window is a carbon copy of Stream, which the Mac version didn't do that. Why? Let's see. There we go. All right. Professional streamer knows how to stream. Now, where I left off, if I remember correctly, was trying to figure out what the hell buckets were for. Hold secret hammer. Join us. Oh. You can't tell, I'm in a bit of a goofy mood. I got a date. Sights. Oh, thank you for the host, mate. I appreciate it. Holy shit, I forgot about the rainbow sheep. Oh, I love the rainbow sheep. Oh my god. That was like the one thing that I apparently did remember to back up whenever I moved from Mac to Linux. Rainbow sheep. Rainbow Sheep. Like, I just want to turn the Rainbow Sheep into a button on the Stream Deck. Although I haven't actually checked if Stream Deck works on Linux. All right. Let's see. What is a bucket? What is this bucket? This is my bucket. I need go. Nope. 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 VoltDB. VoltDB. Rainbow Sheep is best sheep. It really bloody is. I wonder if I could. Oh, that would be a lot of pain. I just immediately, like, my brain went back to the 3D printers and was like, can I 3D print Rainbow Sheep? I can technically print sheep and make sheep into Rainbow Sheep. Is that how this works? Anyway. Bolt. For anybody that may or may not be new to the stream, if you are looking for like a concise, straight stream of consciousness that is related and on topic and capable of being like a lecture where it's really structured, and you have A, B, C, Z, that's not me. I am all over the place. Because when I code, things get weird. All right, now, buckets. If I remember, okay, so Bolt has this concept of buckets, and buckets are effectively just key value pairs within the database. Now, as far as I'm aware, there is no direct query mechanism for keys. At least I thought there wasn't a direct query mechanism for keys, because what I effectively have is this view function and then this update function. So, back to where I was. My desktop just exploded. So we have something that looks like this, where we are basically creating a transaction to read into the database. And what it gives me is this bolt.transaction. Bolt.transaction does not have a get function. So what we have to do is we have to create this, or we have to reference a bucket. So t.bucket returns a bucket by given name. It returns nil if the bucket does not exist. And the bucket instance is only valid for the lifetime of the transaction. AKA, as soon as this function is gone, this bucket connection is gone. So buckets are very important, it seems, because the bucket is the only way that I can get to keys and values. So something that that's been kind of going back and forth for me. Do I need to initialize? Hello? Do I need to initialize the bucket? I think the answer is yes, based on that. So bucket db.transaction.create bucket. All right, I'm gonna put this over here. Yeah, okay. So this is an example of an update function, apparently. Update func. Func. db update b error. Close tx dot. Oh no, it's t dot create bucket. If not exists. Oh, that's cool. Hell yeah. Oh no. Remember how I said I thought that was fixed? That whole like not being able to autofill correctly? Apparently I'm wrong. Oh no. Oh no. Compiler incompatible. Cannot use bucket name. All right, this has to be a byte. It has to be some bytes. Let's do byte. Oops, not curly braces. Vim, hello. I think Vim is having a little bit of a conniption fit. I mean, as I was, but still. Would you? So if error does not equal to nil, then we're going to... Well, we can't return nil here. Issues. I have issues. Who doesn't? But still. I have issues with buckets. Okay. So if error is not equal to nil, return t.errorf. Gonna make the error nice and fancy. Failed to create bucket. Bucket. Failed to create bucket. Y'all, I'm struggling. I'm struggling right now. Oh, missing thing before new line. That's because we didn't close that. And then here we return nil if it worked. And let's see here. This is missing an end. B is declared but not used. And that documentation is shit. That documentation doesn't compile. Whoa. Oh, that's kind of... I am so sorry, y'all. Give me just a second. I'll be right back. All right, and I'm back. Sorry about that. That awkward moment when you start to hear your washing machine go thump, 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 thump. And you're like, that's not what that machine's supposed to do. Oh no. So, back to Bolt. Back to buckets. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. All right. So, oh, that's right. Because I was now thinking about the Bolt cache file and not having a thing and just calling it a name. All right. Don't do it. So this is going to be path equals fmt.sprintf. Okay. And s.db name. So that becomes path. Therefore, bucket name becomes name. name? Nay, I say. Oh, Guitar, if you are still around, did you ever get that second book? Just curious, just kind of curious if there's a continuation that maybe your good friend Mitch could read. He's totally not curious about what happened to Doc. So weird today. Oh, let's see here. Okay, so I need. Oh, right, and this needs to also be just. Now, what I could do though, instead of having to, well. So what I'm thinking about right now is that I more or less constantly have to reference this bucket. So it makes me wonder if that's something that I should try to automate, but it looks like no. It looks like there's no real easy way to do that just because of the transaction. So we'll keep it. We'll keep it where it is. Okay. So I think that's everything that I need. So instead, what I was thinking was maybe I could save a reference from this thing. Maybe I could save a reference to the bucket and then I wouldn't have to constantly recreate it. However, because it's within the context of this transaction, I don't think there's really anything that I can do with that. Hey, Fuel, thanks so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab. I think I forgot to put an announcement on the Discord. Oh, shit. You right. I did. Oh, no. Oh, no. Announcements. Copy. Paste. I forget all the bloody time. That is an interaction that I need to build out. Like, I need to build the Discord integration into the bot. Well, I say that even though the bot currently is not working because authentication. Bloody authentication. Oh, like every time it's either DNS, almost always DNS, or it's authentication. All right, so we get a t.bucket. We get a t.bucket. My enter key apparently needs to be replaced. Woohoo! Now what we could do.
Oh, good. My slow clap
Metal
processor
Chick.
made it into this thing.
Thank you so much. Welcome to the lab. Digital lab coats will be available upon request. However, we cannot guarantee that they will actually fit because I can barely even formulate an English sentence, let alone to actually make a lab coat. So, well, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. I sit here attempting to figure out how to make a bucket. Because, buckets. I feel like this, if I ever had a title for the stream, which apparently I didn't set either. Can you all tell that I'm a very professional streamer? Apparently, that's going to be the title of the stream. Buckets. Just buckets for days. Now, there actually might be a way to abstract this. Let's see here. If I do a func, this will probably need to be on bolt cache. Get bucket. Or I could just do bucket. Yeah. This is going to return a bolt.bucket. Yeah. Because we can return buckets, damn it. And then more or less, this will return this. So return t.bucket. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, that bucket. And I think that's where I want that to go. Field and method with the same name. Y'all gonna make me change this, aren't you? You're gonna make me come all the way up here. Gonna make me rename stuff. I say as if that's a problem. Undeclared name T. Oh, nope, so I do need the bolt transaction. So I can do T as bolt.tx. Now I don't know how I feel about passing that around. All right, fuck it. I don't know how I feel about passing the transaction around. If there's one thing that I do have a lot of PTSD about, it's passing transactions, which passing transactions in this case literally just means that I've passed a reference to a transaction to another function, all so that I could do this. Here, change to this. B.bucket. I've effectively created a transaction leak, or theoretically a transaction leak, just so I could say b.bucket.get. Is that worth it? I don't know if that's worth it. I'm still trying to decide if that's working. Oh, okay. I just had a realization. Anyway, yeah. It's not terrible. It's not terrible. I'm going to actually try and follow my own rule, which is don't abstract too early. So we got this. Result equals nil. Return not found. Otherwise, return string of result. And off we go. Now, drop in and recommend you categorize your stream under software and game development. Oh, that's a thing. That is a thing that I was supposed to do. That was the thing I was supposed to do. And Code Blue, thank you so much for that. And welcome to the lab. I keep forgetting that was actually a thing. I think today is 57, not 55. Hey, there we go. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I keep forgetting that Twitch has a proper category for that now. We have finally become first-class citizens. Took this long. Let's see here. Hit a default. Okay. I remember now. I remember what was giving me pause last stream. I was trying to think of how to deal with. Let's put this right about there. I was trying to deal with what we currently do. So in the persistable cache right now, no? A met text. That's JSON. That's a little bit different. But just thinking about more or less the way that we're going to store this data. So we've got our key, which is in this case last sub, and then we've got the data itself, which is in this case a JSON payload that we're using for metrics. But then we also have reader, which is not currently doing anything. The key is this first bit, the value is nothing, and then this is a TTL. So that is something that we had in the previous version, the persistable cache. Was this idea of a TTL being automatically applied for us. I don't believe that Bolt has that, at least as far as I'm aware. So it may be that these entries, maybe they're not strings? I'm trying to think of how I would want to deal with that usage. The greeter would more or less be a get and a put. We would need some type of structure to be able to know timestamp, to be able to know TTL. I think we would still have to implement that, which we could just copy that over from the existing cache. So what I'm kind of thinking about is because we implemented key value stores manually in the persistable cache, what I'm now trying to do is I'm trying to mesh that into what Bolt would do, and that's kind of where I'm going through here, trying to figure out, okay, well, is there anything that gives me that out of the gate? And I think the answer is no. We got stats, we got read-only mode, Android, iOS. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Try to avoid long-running transactions. Byte slices returned from Bolt are only valid during the transaction. Yes, that actually caught me in the last stream. It's like, oh, how am I going to get data out of the transaction? Oh, I have to do a copy. Oh no. Bill percent is a thing. Use larger buckets. Bulk loading. Memory mapped files, so the underlying operating system caching of data. Blah 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 blah. Okay. No, not quite what I'm looking for. Okay, so I think in order for Bolt to work with the way that we currently have things done, I think I'm gonna have to implement some type of like an entry, which we kind of sort of already have that in persistable cache. Yeah, it's this. Now, entry, though, included the key as well as the value and a timestamp. So I'm thinking that probably is not going to be necessary. At least the key part is not going to be necessary. The entry would just be the value and a timestamp, which is kind of fine. Now, there was somewhere... cache key entry. Yep. We did not do... So we also, because we were manually handling the file, we also had to do this type of logic where we're converting an entry into a line, or effectively just a file line. So we won't have to do that with Bolt. So I think what may make the most sense is just having like an entry wrapper. So more or less in the same way that we have an entry here. We go back to Bolt. So we'll have a Bolt cache. We'll have a Bolt entry. Not going to have a key. We don't have to worry about rehydration. Um, and we actually won't have to do that. Weird. Bolt. So, entry is a thing. This is what I haven't seen in a while. Hello, Erva. Thanks so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab. And Spooky with doing the heckin' lurk in Red Dead Art. Yo. Have fun, Spooky. No worries. Thank you both for stopping by. Welcome. Oh, man. Starting to see people again. It's so good. Oh, let's see here. What even am I gonna do with this? I'm good, Eva. Thanks so much for asking. How are you doing? I've been like all over the place the last couple of months or so, so hence why I wasn't streaming. Life was heckin' busy. You ever get to that point where, like, you know, it's not like a physical exhaustion. It's just you're constantly doing all these different things, and then things are basic. Like work is especially contending for your attention. It's just constant all day, every day. And by the end of it, you just want to like veg out on the couch and just watch mindless TV and just not think about anything. That was me. That was basically me. You get to that point where it's like, I don't want to wake up early. Which clearly, I mean, right now it's 9:30 for me, but doing that 7 a.m. stream that I used to do, oh, Amedge has gotten a little old. Amedge can't do a 7 a.m. stream anymore. Round about the same? I hear you. Well, I hope you get to take the time to treat yourself, because everybody needs to treat themselves. Treat themselves, take care of you. Woo! Coffee. Speaking of treat yourself. Coffee. Such a good time. Let's see here. Let me make the... I don't know what just happened to my voice there. I think I hit puberty. Didn't help. Oh. No clue how I stream so early? Yeah. I think it was a lot easier when I was working in an office. Like, I actually had to get up and go to an office. Because of that, it forced me to like move my sleep schedule back so that I could get in the car early enough to where I wouldn't sit in too much traffic. Oh, I don't miss those days at all. But yeah, it was like my sleep schedule just naturally shifted back. And then yeah, there was that one time that I was like, I can't sleep. I have lots of coffee. I'm going to stream. Because what could possibly be a better idea when you are sleep deprived and you are loopy and you can't form coherent thoughts? I'm gonna go stream myself coding. Again, since there is little in the lab. There's very little sense in the lab. Makes perfect sense? Yeah. That's about all I can ask for. Let's see here. So, this is the value. And actually what the value really is... Now, how does this work? Oh no, hang on a second. I think if this is going to be... that. That's update. This is view. That's nice and all, but that's not really what I need. Oh boy. Bolt DB JSON. Best way to store data in Bolt. Probably just a marshaller. Marshaller to a byte slice. Create bucket if not exists. JSON.marshal. Bucket.put. Encode. Okay. So effectively, they just recommend leaning on. In this case, it's going to be a JSON value. So just doing a JSON marshal. So key value. Do a thing. So I need to do a b.db.update. b.db.update. And then for the update, this is going to be a func. You know what? Feeling lazy. Feeling heckin' lazy. Drop a heckin' lurk. Just want to pop in and see how you're doing. Thank you so much, Irva. I appreciate you. And thank you so much for the lurk. I'll talk to you soon. I don't want a view. I want a put or db.update. And for this, assuming it works, we return nil. Now this is closed. Nil. Now, the fun part. A value to cache. Hello? Now, actually, am I using entry from persistable? I don't think so. Because put doesn't use entry. Yeah, okay, so it just does timestamp. So we are more or less going to need that code. We're going to have one of these. We make an entry. Now here we would more or less do a JSON.marshal. Or val error equals JSON.marshal. Error does not equal nil. Return errors. Wrap. Put key value. Something like that. Key value. We have like that. This becomes a val. Wait. That ain't right. That ain't right. This is what we're supposed to do. Value is value. JSON.marshal entry. Error is not equal to nil. Errors.wrap. Then here we do a we do a t dot bucket byte dot name dot put byte of key and val. Like that. Okay, so I just kind of stream of consciousness to that. So what I'm doing is I'm effectively taking the original idea where when we're putting values into a cache, we're not just directly putting those values, we're actually wrapping the value with some additional metadata, which specifically in this case, the metadata that we're doing is a timestamp. So for the timestamp, it's just a way for us to identify when this value was created. And then based on that, for later TTL based stuff that we need to do in the get function, it's just we're putting a JSON struct or JSON value in as kind of like a wrapper. Now, the reason that we're using JSON is because JSON comes with a JSON.Marshal function, which turns a value into a byte array or byte slice. And that is required for Bolt's put. Bolt is basically working with bytes. That's kind of the interface for Bolt. So we are taking our value, wrapping it in an entry struct, adding a timestamp to it so that we can do some time to live type stuff. And then we're marshalling that into a JSON byte stream and writing that into Bolt. Still with me? This is basically where the Stack Overflow copy paste keyboard starts to come in handy. Seriously, that is the coolest keyboard that I think I have, and it does nothing. It's literally just a Stack Overflow key, a copy, and a paste. Like, so good. The cats are fighting. Or they're standing off? Oh, she thinking about it. I wish that I could show you all what I'm looking at right now. It's intense. Like, two of my cats are just staring each other down. And they're done. Alright. Alright, fine. No drama for the morning. Okay. So now, what that means, I'm gonna bring this down here. We got absent, getter default, get, put, append. I'll get to, because append is interesting. So from here, then, that means that this would follow the JSON unmarshal. So kind of the reverse of what's being suggested here is JSON.Marshal. So now, to read it back out again, JSON.Unmarshal. So value. And then we would be copying the value. So I think we do that outside of the transaction. So I think all of this needs to go outside of the transaction.
Oh, good. My slow clap processor made it into this thing.
Ralvis Costa? I apologize if I just butchered that name. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the lab. Digital lab coats will be available upon request. However, we cannot guarantee that they will actually fit because I can barely put a bucket together. I think I'm going to be able to put a lab coat together? It is becoming significantly more difficult to come up with streams of thought for that instance. I am struggling. But I mean, I've been told that's half of why people come. They don't come for the code. They come to watch me struggle bus. Now, is there any implication doing that? I don't think so. Assuming that update. No. Okay. It doesn't look like there's any implication to what's catching me, just to call it out explicitly. Technically speaking, there's a scope shift that's happening here. So right now, where we're creating the entry, that is within the scope of the put function. But then down here where we're actually doing the DB update, that's within the scope of this transaction. So scopes are different. And it's making me wonder if it's... I think it's actually more worth to do this in here. The reason that I'm going back and forth on that is that depending on how a transaction is implemented, there can be issues with when you've effectively got memory that's allocated for a put function and it's being reallocated for a subcontext or for a subscope. I don't think that that's really that much of a deal here. Like most code, you would be okay with that. But the reason that I was checking how Bolt DB update actually does what it does, specifically this part, I was checking to see if there was any type of concurrency issue. So like if it spawned a go routine for some reason, that would basically be memory access violation. But it seems okay. The emphasis on these seems okay. So I think we'll go forward with it. Now... Now, does update actually return the error? It does. Okay, so we're going to return error from initial scope. Actually, that feels like a really weak abstraction. I have an inclination to like wrap that in some type of more consistent error, kind of like how we did with this not found error. It's kind of sort of the same idea, but then you start getting into error modeling. It's like what am I going to make this error? What am I going to call you this thing that's probably just going to be if error equals nil, panic. When I put it that way, I basically talk myself out of doing things. Oh man. All right, so that's the basic value, the basic put value. Now, append is just a fancy version of get the value, append it with a separator, put. How did I do this with persistable? How did I actually use append? Like, where did I actually use it? So there's that, but then... Oh, I literally just did strings.contains. I was sitting here getting all worked up about, oh, I'm gonna have to do something specific for append because of the way that it works, and no. Now, but that is technically... Well, nah, they're all strings, I guess. What stopped me is that the way that I do append is this. Reader. Nope, that ain't it. Oh right, because I would have to have a poll going. So for append, I was basically using a separator, and I wasn't really. I wasn't expressing that anywhere. Oh no, I made the separator I made the separator an input. Okay. I was worried that I didn't do that and that I just like had created a separator within the cache and then I didn't export it. So it's like, in order to use the cache and to append values to the cache, you have to know what separator the cache is using. And that's bad abstraction. So don't do that. But for append, whoop, literally in the function signature. So let's see here. Existing error equals b dot getter default key default value is empty, and then if error is not equal to nil, we're more or less doing the exact same thing that we did in persistable. So we could probably just do this. Effectively. However, we do need to be a little bit smarter about the entry mechanism. So everywhere that we have cache, hello. Everywhere that we have cache, we want that to be B. Yeah. Same thing here. Getter default. Errors.wrap. No key found. This was before I knew that wrapf existed. Persistable. And depends again value to that. If not present, it delegates to a simple put. Okay. So we literally just copy pasted, which is great. Although for this particular bit, because we are wrapping the value in an entry, we do need. So this would be value error equals b dot getter default. Error is not equal to nil. So here, if value equals nothing, return b dot put. Or no, we don't have to do that because we're delegating that to put. So this is fine, is it? Now double checking the get does what I want it to do. That is something that I will need to figure out as the get side of things. So append looks okay. What? Does bolt have a... They have a delete bucket. E dot... No, wait, no. Byte. E dot bucket name. We get our bucket. E dot bucket dot delete. Removes a key from the bucket. Perfect. Like clear is effectively just a delete. So return nil. Now, does this return an error if the key doesn't exist? Delete removes key from the bucket. The key does not exist, then nothing is done, and a nil error is returned. Returns an error if the bucket was created from a read-only transaction. Got it. Okay. So in this case, error equals b.db.update. If error does not equal to nil, then fmt.errorf. I almost feel like this should be a fatal F, because that's effectively you have screwed up so badly that the code itself is wrong. So the error that's being returned here for a delete is if you try to run a delete within a db.view instead of a db.update. So It almost feels like this should be a fatal. Og.fatal. Maybe. Do I have logger in here? I do. Okay. We'll do a logger.fatal. And clear is running a delete within a read-only transaction. Just to make it explicitly clear. Now fatal requires the error. Like that. Logger, by the way, is just our like abstraction around around logging. Gives me some shall we say, gives me some nice helper functions. Okay. Let's see here. So that's clear. Persistable. That's absent. Oh, we do need we already have absent. Right? And absent. Okay. Very, very good. Get absent, get a default, get input. I feel like get input should be at the top. Anybody else do this? You just sit here and stare at your code and go, I don't like the way that this is ordered. I'm going to reorder it. And then when you go to make the git commit, it's like, whoa, why are there so many changes? Oh, right, because I moved those functions around. Code organization could possibly go wrong. All right, so let's see here. We still need to do git. I cannot forget to do git. We got... Okay, so with this bit, with the result here being a byte, so at this point we are copying the entry out. So we need to unmarshal it. So there's this. So then unmarshaled, or decoded, we'll call it. Decoded error equals json.unmarshal. And this would be result. Now this is supposed to go into a var entry. So entry. Okay. We want this to go to at B. Oh, right. There's no decoded. That. Yeah. So unmarshaled data goes into entry. Checking that's right. Yep. Okay. If error does not equal to nil, then return empty string, then errors dot wrapf error invalid entry for key. Okay. So now at this point, we're kind of jumping through some hoops because of all the conversion from byte to thing that we are trying to actually use. But at this point, we've now got an entry. So we've got our value and we've got our timestamp. Now, we can just return v.value. However, now we also need the TTL logic, which I think I am going to just copy pasta. Or can I copy pasta? Oh. Okay. Okay. So we had this whole cache.expired idea. Right, so we're gonna need that. We're gonna need this. And instead of cache, this is B. Persistable. This is bolt cache. Fired. And now we do need an expiration time. So for that, that's a expiration N64, I think it was. Name and ETL seconds, I think is how I did it. And I'm actually gonna call it TTL seconds because I kind of like that name better. I like that name a lot better than expiration time. TTL seconds. It's the joy of rewriting code. You get the opportunity to, well, you get the opportunity to rewrite things. TTL seconds. Mix named and unnamed parameters. Hello? Oh, right. TTL seconds is an N64. So all that should be good. Just gonna make my desktop go nuts for a moment. Don't mind me. TTL is N64. This actually is less than expiration time, and then this is TTL. There we go. All right. So expiration is not set. All keys are considered active. So that's fine. Clear is fine. Append is fine. I think since we have like getter default leans on get, I think we put this value in get. So if value expired, clear it and return as if it didn't exist. So if b dot expired, b dot timestamp, then b dot clear, right? Yeah, I think that's what I want.
Oh, good. My slow clap processor
Ambiguously
made it into this
cryptic. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the lab. Digital lab coats will be available upon request. However, we cannot guarantee they will actually fit, especially for cryptics. We're kind of it's a bit of a process to make a lab coat. So if you send us your measurements, though, we will make it happen. Yeah, that bit is getting weirder and weirder, I believe. But welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. So here we want to do E. So we want to do this, and we want to return empty. Oh, basically we want to do this. Return empty and not found error. So we clear it just for basically for data cleanliness sake, and then we return not found. Otherwise, everything is good. We return v.value, no error. Right? So I think that takes us through let's see here. which does simplify absent. Whereas previously with persistable cache, we had absent doing the existence check. Now we've kind of flipped that, and now it's okay, well, we've got existence, but then we've also got the TTL bits. We've got that encoded in get. Does make me wonder. See, where am I using absent right now? It is kind of an abstraction over not found, so okay. Okay, that makes sense. Now, there was a brief moment where my mind was like, can you get rid of absent? But then I would be duplicating this part, so we'll just keep it as absent. I think that more or less takes care of it. Now, unfortunately, I can't actually test this right now because I can't actually run the damn code. We can't really test timestamps very well. Yeah, we couldn't test timestamps very well. We could do it, but it would involve a lot of time.sleeps, which I don't really like doing in tests. But maybe. But unfortunately, that is roundabout all the time that I have for today. So that kind of puts me in a bit of a convenient spot. I am intending to get a lot better about when we're building these types of things to do the test accompanying with them. I'm still trying to decide if I do that on stream or if I do that off stream. Probably going to do it on stream because then you get to see me struggle. But that will take care of us for today. So thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of you coming out. I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact that there is an actual category for software development now. Holy shit. And I know these streams have been a little short. I'm still working out like exactly how long of a stream I actually want to do. Seems like we're falling somewhere in the hour to hour and a half realm. So that's probably what it's gonna even out to be. But we'll see. We'll see how things go. I'm still getting back into the groove, so bear with me. But until next time, thank you all so much for watching. Stay curious. It was so great to see you all today, and we'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.